All right, I'm here with Congressman Andre Carson joining us on this very busy week in the news. Congressman, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me. What an honor.
A lot to talk about this week, including what we've seen play out in Minnesota. But I want to start first on Venezuela. Congress acting on this war powers resolution just passed in the Senate amidst a lot of uncertainty about what our plans are in Venezuela and a lot of questions right now about our rhetoric on Greenland as well. How concerned are you right now? And what role should Congress play in all of this?
Well, that's an important question. I mean, this issue has resonated with the American people for the wrong reasons. Donald Trump's voters thought that they voted for an America First policy. There is nothing America First about kidnapping another country's president and his wife. And I've been briefed on what's happening, but this should not have happened without congressional authorization, which is outlined in the Constitution. This is an abuse of power and a violation of the War Powers Act. Only Congress has the power to declare war, which we did not do, of course, unless there's an exigent circumstance. But, before the attack, there were no immediate threats to the U.S. from Venezuela and no justification really to remove an elected head of state by military force. Donald Trump's actions were unlawful, and they really undermine national security and violate international and U.S. laws. And these distractions and delusions, like many unhinged posts that we've seen, are proof that the president is unbridled and unhinged. And this is why the 25th Amendment was even ratified and why it needs to be invoked now, before we are dragged into another unnecessary war and before more lives are lost. And the White House has said U.S. decisions regarding Venezuela, including access to oil, will now be dictated by U.S. interest, and seized oil tankers. This is illegal, and it will only escalate tensions. Americans did not vote for the White House to start an unprovoked war in Venezuela, and now talking about capturing Greenland. It's unacceptable, and it strains the partnerships that we have globally.
You mentioned the 25th Amendment there. You think we're at that stage?
I hope not, but these are unprecedented times. And we've seen Donald Trump make unprecedented moves. That doesn't make him a bold leader. It makes him to appear to be unhinged.
Senator Young this week supported that war powers resolution in the Senate. Do you think that we'll see more Republicans supporting such a move in growing numbers?
Well, it did, we're seeing a bipartisan movement. I would like to see more boldness coming from my friends on the other side of the aisle. But this is just another signal that Americans from both parties oppose unnecessary wars. The resolution is expected to come to the House floor today. I will be voting yes. And I think it's important that we reaffirm Congress's ability to authorize or limit any sustained military activity in Venezuela. We cannot have an unstable and unhinged president unilaterally making very extreme military decisions on behalf of the American people.
Minnesota this week and the shooting involving the ICE agent. What are your thoughts on what we all witnessed there this week?
A very heartbreaking tragedy. As a former law enforcement officer, I've been in very dangerous situations. I've seen the video like we all have. It's very disappointing. It's heartbreaking. It's horrifying. Gunfire should only be used in the most dangerous of situations. If ICE believed this woman, a U.S. citizen, was breaking the law, there were many other options to have resolved this issue, but they didn't do it. And now a family is grieving and experiencing unimaginable grief.
The mayor there in Minneapolis this week said in his words that ICE should, quote, get the F out. He faced some backlash for that, with some saying it may only inflame some of these tensions. Do you share those concerns?
No, I think the mayor, like any good mayor or representative of the people, is reflecting the sentiment on the ground. from the people he has been elected to represent, and to be a good steward over their taxpayer dollars, and to keep his city safe and community safe. We've seen a president who has said far worse.
Finally, this week, the January 6th anniversary and a key Indiana connection with this new White House webpage that kind of rewrites the history of that day from the administration's perspective, at times blaming the Capitol Police and also calling Mike Pence's actions that day, quote, cowardly. As someone who also faced threats that day, what's your response to all of this?
I think to trivialize, to minimize, to homogenize and romanticize such a very tragic and unfortunate day in American history is unpatriotic, it's delusional, and a misrepresentation of the facts. As you mentioned, my life was threatened. There was a person who showed up to the Capitol with explosives with my name on a list. And to watch this history get rewritten is no different than people who have tried to rewrite history, tried to rewrite the civil rights movement, tried to rewrite the women's suffrage movement, tried to rewrite the abolitionist movement, tried to rewrite all of the incidents that have happened that were tragic in our country to fit a particular narrative that wipes away the darker side of such a great nation.
It's been certainly a difficult week in the news. Congressman Carson, thank you for spending a few minutes with us to talk about everything you're seeing there from your perspective.
What an honor. Thank you, sir.
Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. You too.